Hi gang, Gary Germer, your antique appraiser extraordinaire here. And I want to answer a question that was sent in, and actually I get this question quite a bit. And that is how do I know if I have some silver that I want to sell to the silver dealer that I'm actually getting a fair price for what I'm selling? And that I have a formula I'm going to give you today that the gold and silver dealers don't want you to know. They don't want you to know how to convert it. So that you can go in when you sell it and be prepared to know if you're getting a good deal or not. Now, it's important for those of us who are in the business to know this, and most of you who are professional dealers have already know this formula. But for the weekend warriors I'm out there, that I want you to know what you're dealing with too, because oftentimes people who are running garage sales and estate sales and whatnot, they have silver, and they even sometimes will have junk jewelry, and in the middle of it have a gold chain or something, and they didn't realize it was gold and have it for $1 or $2, or silver that they didn't want to clean or polish, and they want to get rid of, so they put a few bucks on it to get rid of it. And you can make good money picking things like this up, and you don't have to worry about eBay or photographing anything. You just go and sell it that day and make your money. I have a friend of mine here in Portland who goes every weekend. It's her hobby to go every weekend to garage sales and estate sales, and she has a little antique mall space that she sells out of, and has fun and makes a good side business doing it. But she's trained herself that as she goes to look for these things, to look for silver and look for gold and just see what it is. She's very methodical about it, and she'll make $10,000 to $15,000 because she's patient, carefully looks through all the stuff and comes up with the things that people have missed and goes and sells it. So I'm going to walk you through the formula, and we're going to actually I'm going to have some silver here. I'm going to show you on how it's done. But beforehand, there is a couple tools you're going to need, and they're not expensive. And the first is very simple. You're going to need scales. These are just kitchen scales that you can get online. They're not expensive. They sell $10 to $15. You don't need anything that can launch rockets into space. You need a decent scale that'll weigh grams, and make sure, and they nearly all do, but just double check, make sure the ones you're getting will weigh grams. If for gold, you'll need a separate scale, and that's one of these smaller ones, and they'll weigh up to 1/10 of a gram. Now, why can't you use just the one? Well, because with gold, 1/10 of a gram will matter on the value, whereas silver, 1/10 of a gram isn't that much money to worry about. But in gold, obviously, it can be worth a lot of money. However, silver will end up weighing a lot, and these scales only weigh up a little amount, so you need the heavier scale for the heavier things. So that's the whole reason you need both. $10 to $15 each, 30 bucks. You can be with shipping. You should be set up just fine on getting the scales you need. So how do we do it? Well, we get started. First thing we have silver here. We're going to be doing it. And this formula works with all precious metals, but we're going to do it to learn the formula. We're going to work just with sterling silver. So the first thing we want to do is go and find out on the internet what silver's selling for today. And I use a website called Kitco.com, K-I-T-C-O. And they're a refinery in Canada, and they have on their front page, it's real easy to see what silver and gold are going for right then. It fluctuates a little bit during the day, but for our purposes, that isn't as big a deal as getting a benchmark to work with. There's other places online you can use work just as well. That happens to be the one I use, and I find that was very easy to use. So you're looking at it today, looking at what we fondly in our office refer to as our oracle. We look at what silver is selling for. And today it's selling, as I'm recording this, it's at $14.30 per ounce. Okay? So silver's $14.30 an ounce. That's for an ounce of pure silver. But we have sterling silver that we're dealing with. And we know sterling silver is what? 925 parts per thousand. So we take our $14 with our little calculator, once again, isn't that great? They're all in the same thing here. $14.30, and we multiply it times 0.925, and that gives us $13.23 for 1 ounce of pure sterling silver. Okay? Very simple. Convert pure to sterling. Now we have sterling silver. We're going to convert an ounce to a gram. And so we divide by the magic number 31.1 because there's 31.1 grams per ounce. And so we take it here and we divide our $13.23 by 31.1, and we end up with 42.5 cents. So 42.5 cents per gram of sterling silver. Okay, simple, right? Now, what do we do after that? Well, how many grams have you got? So we take this on and we put it on our scale, make sure it's on grams, and we have 366 grams. So we multiply it times our 42.5 cents times 366 equals $155.55. So for the 10 bucks that they spent at a garage sale for this, there's $155 worth of silver in here, pure of silver. Not bad, huh? And that can happen regularly. Now, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind, though, when you go to sell it. You're not going to get $155. You're not going to get 100% of it because this needs to be refined, has to go to a refinery. And in order to work with a refinery, you have to deal in large quantities. So what are you and I going to have to do? We have to deal with a gold or silver dealer. And that dealer works on a margin. So they're going to pay back of that pure price. They don't even get completely the pure price because the refinery works on a smaller margin because they have costs of refining, but they work on a smaller margin, but still, so if you're dealing in quantity, you'll get almost that amount. But for us weekend warriors, those of us out here that are once in a while selling some scrap silver, you're dealing with another margin. And for a fair, if you're dealing with a fair gold and silver dealer, expect to get between 80 and 85% of spot price. So we take our 155 and let's say 80% for the sake of figuring. So we multiply it times 0.8 and we come up with $124. So still, that's not so bad, is it? You find this scrap, pitted, ruined pieces of silver, but it's silver. You could run over this with your car. You could take an axe to it and smash it to smithereens, and you still have that much silver because you're selling the metal, you're not selling the artwork. So it's worth, it'll always be worth that. And so you can take it from paying 10 bucks and go to your gold and silver dealer and convert it instantly into 125 bucks. That's a pretty sweet deal. It's a pretty fun deal. And sometimes you don't get that big a margin. Maybe you had to pay 80 bucks for it. But would you pay, it's like buying money. Would you pay $80 for $125? Well, who wouldn't? That's crazy. So obviously that's what you want to do. So knowing what you have and knowing what it's worth and knowing what you can expect to get for it, you know whether or not it's a good deal to buy it. And I hope that's clear. If there's any questions, please contact me and I'll get back in touch with you and help you with that. I am going to do another video that has to do with explaining exactly how do you know what purity you have and how does this work with gold. And it's simply a matter of knowing what purity of gold and how much you have. And other tricks of the trade on so you don't make mistakes in buying something you think is gold but it's not, or think it's silver but it's not, and how to test and give it all the acid tests. That'll be another video that we'll be doing, so please look for that. Until later, please like us on Facebook, subscribe below because we'll be doing a lot more videos. I want to do a few more show and tell videos, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you have, and we can make this an interactive thing, and we can do a lot of show and tell. Until next time, I'm Gary Germer. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one.